I think all parents know that babies are not born with a manual, at least not one that came with my kids anyway. Well, today we're going to open up that instruction book for the human brain's version 1.0. You won't need a screwdriver. You should probably get ready to learn a lot. In particular, we're going to zero in on the first 3 years of life, a time when the infant brain is undergoing some seriously mind-boggling changes and developments. And because I know you parents out there are wondering, yes, we'll talk about what you can do to help nurture your kiddo's growing genius. So hang tight and let's get started. By the time your baby is born, their brain is fully formed, but far from being fully functional. Picture it more like an enormous construction site teeming with activity. Now enter the trillions of neurons, the brain's tiny communicators. They are the workers of this construction site, getting their tools ready to build an intricate network. These neurons are responsible for transmitting messages throughout the body. But before they start issuing instructions, they need to make lots of connections. Enter synapses, the connections between those neurons. Think of them as the roads that allow these brain workers to communicate. By the time your baby is born, they already have about 2,500 synapses per neuron. Speaking of those super important interactions with caregivers, here's another piece of the puzzle. Your baby has gone through a few sensitive periods, but don't worry, not those kinds. These are biological windows of heightened responsiveness, during which your baby is most receptive to certain kinds of experiences. It's like their brain is primed to soak up specific information. One prominent example is the language-sensitive period. From birth, babies are amazingly attuned to human voices and sounds. They can tell the difference between native and non-native languages, and they prefer the sound of their mother tongue. Over the first 3 years, they go from helpless newborn to verbal toddler to eager preschooler on the verge of reading. This isn't just because of biology. It's because their brains are wired to absorb language input. The language-sensitive period is generally considered to last until around age 7, although individual differences are significant. After this period, it's not that your child stops learning languages. It's just that the process becomes more challenging. Imagine trying to learn a new language without ever having lived abroad. It can be done, but it's a lot harder. Similarly, for language, the brain structure changes, becoming more specialized for processing native speech sounds, making it less flexible for learning other languages. Another fascinating sensitive period is the one for developing a sense of order, usually starting around age 2 and peaking around. For children in this stage, show a strong preference for consistency and routine. They don't like surprises and can become very upset if things change unexpectedly. For instance, a child who always gets picked up at the same time from daycare might become very upset if the routine is disrupted. This isn't just about being creatures of habit. It's about the brain developing an understanding of rules and expectations. It's like building the scaffolding for future learning. This need for order allows children to predict what's going to happen next, helping them feel safe and secure. It also lays the foundation for understanding concepts like fairness and equality. Now, this is a great time to ask, how can I foster these critical brain developments in my child? Nurturing your child's brain development doesn't require anything fancy. It's all about everyday interactions and experiences. Language development is stimulated through singing songs, reading stories, talking about daily activities, and most importantly, responding to your baby's early attempts at communication, even if it's just babbling. For the sense of order, you can provide consistent routines, clear explanations for changes in plans, and predictable responses to your child's needs. These might seem like small things, but they're laying the groundwork for your child's cognitive, social, and emotional growth. It's like building a house. Wouldn't start with the decorations, would you? Same goes for your child's brain development. Start with a solid foundation, and then watch them flourish. We've talked about neuroplasticity, sensitive periods, language development, and the sense of order. Now let's shift our focus to a different aspect of brain development, the emergence of consciousness. Now hold on to your seats because this is a fascinating area of ongoing research. It's hard to believe that something as complex as consciousness could start in those tiny brains, but evidence is pointing in that direction. Traditional views argued that consciousness develops gradually over time, but recent discoveries are challenging that notion. What exactly does it mean for an infant to be conscious? It's not about having deep thoughts or philosophical ponderings. but rather the ability to respond to stimuli, process emotions, and begin to self-reflect. Surprisingly, researchers are finding signs of consciousness in infants as young as 6 months old. How did they crack this nut? They've turned to brain imaging techniques like IG and fMRI to peek into the infant brain. These methods allow researchers to observe brain activity without opening the proverbial box. Using these tools, they found that key networks in the brain start interacting in ways that resemble adult consciousness. For example, the default mode network, dorsal attention network, and executive control network show increased activity, indicating a more conscious state. Additionally, studies have looked at how infants process visual and auditory information. They discovered that infants are able to integrate information from different senses, showing a level of consciousness that blurs the lines between perception and awareness. But wait, there's more. Some studies even suggest that infants can self-reflect, looking inward to monitor their own thoughts and feelings. While it's not like they're having full-blown introspective moments, their brains show signs of rudimentary self-awareness. This is a huge area of debate and research. It forces us to rethink what it means to be conscious, and when this remarkable ability emerges. Finally, let's unravel the mystery of memory in the infant brain. You might wonder, do babies even have memories? The answer is yes, and they are quite impressive. We've already touched upon implicit memory, which is evident in infants from birth. For instance, they can remember familiar faces and places, showing a preference for them over unfamiliar ones. This is evident in the well-known phenomenon where infants show a preference for their native language over foreign languages, even at a very young age. They also show recognition memory towards their caregivers. Explicit memory is a bit different. It's the kind of memory that allows us to consciously recall facts and events. This type of memory takes a little longer to develop. It's generally thought that explicit memories begin to form around 6 months of age and become more sophisticated over time. However, even at this young age, infants are capable of remembering experiences for surprisingly long periods. They can recall events from several days, weeks, or even months ago. Just imagine the vast storehouse of memories your child will accumulate over their lifetime. Every experience, every interaction contributes to the rich tapestry of their personal narrative. This brings us to an important question. How can we support healthy memory development in infants? The good news is that everyday interactions can significantly impact memory. By engaging with your baby through storytelling, singing, and sharing experiences, you're helping them build these vital memory networks. As your baby grows and starts interacting with the world, continue to narrate their experiences. Help them connect new memories to existing ones, creating a web of remembrance that will serve them well throughout their lives. Wrapping up our journey through the infant brain, we've uncovered some incredible insights. From the explosive growth of synapses to the emergence of consciousness and the formation of memories, those first 3 years are truly pivotal. Remember, you don't need to be an expert neuroscientist to nurture your child's brain development. Your love, care, and everyday interactions are the most potent brain-boosting tools you have. As you watch your child grow and learn, take a moment to appreciate the intricate processes happening within their tiny brains. And know that you are a vital part of that journey. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode and want to dive deeper into the fascinating world of child development, stay tuned for more insights. Till next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep marveling at the incredible journey of childhood.